Alright, what's going on, guys? Hope you guys had a good Christmas. We're filming this on the 26th. We have a spooky one from Chilling Scares. This is 6 most disturbing cases of real found footage. Ready?
Yeah, you could have played it.
Not during that. Okay, ready?
Yes.
On August 15, 1989, a family of 3 was driving along Interstate 205 near Stockton, California when their car began to overheat. Forced to pull over, the father popped the hood to check the damage. It didn't take long to realize they needed professional help. Leaving the mother behind to stay with the car, the father and his young son set out on foot to find a payphone. As they walked, the boy noticed something unusual.
This
This definitely, I know, I was gonna say, this definitely isn't found footage, but maybe it was like one of those dramatization to show, like, to the point where the actual found footage was found, you know? Does that make sense?
A camouflage jacket discarded by the side of the road. This piqued his curiosity and he went over to take a closer look, only to find an unmarked VHS tape sticking out from one of its pockets. The boy picked up the tape and later brought it back to his home. By this point, his parents were also curious about what they'd find on this seemingly abandoned tape. So they inserted it in their home VHS player and pressed play. However, the contents of the tape were far darker than what they could have imagined. Now, the original unedited video has never been made available online, but there are different pieces from various sources that I've done my best to put together.
I think I've seen the
It
clip of
opened with
this.
the camera pointed at a massive fire at night, with what I can only assume is the cameraman saying some ominous stuff.
Look at the fire. This is mine.
I'm guessing he did arson or whatever.
Hell.
A bit into the video, the camera refocused and the source of the fire became clear. It was a single-story home that looked like it was still under construction before it caught fire.
I call it home. My hell. The whole sky's black with smoke. The fire that I will destroy and burn.
Now, question, do you think this is his home? Because if it is, some people do it, right? Some people do it to their own home. And then I have to ask another thing, then they really must be fucked up, right? Because, like, you know, I'm trying to say this, like, if you're super successful enough to have your own house and then you burn it, I mean, I guess some people do it for, like, insurance fraud, right? Or something.
Yeah, but usually they get caught, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Soul. Ancient spirit of evil.
Meanwhile, the cameraman kept talking, and the longer he spoke, the more unsettling it became. Later in the video, you could also hear fire trucks arriving at the scene, and the cameraman commenting on it before ending the video with a direct threat to the viewer.
The fire department's trying to put it out. What a laugh. I gotta go now. But remember me. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
He's trying to be like a Batman villain.
The tape then abruptly cut to the scene from the 1984 horror film A Nightmare on Elm Street. It wasn't clear if the fire video was taped on top of the movie or if this was a deliberate edit. However, one thing was clear: the frightening video was filmed by the person who set the house on fire. The family handed over the tape to the police and told them exactly where and how they found it. Detectives went back to the location, and sure enough, the family's story checked out. The jacket was still there. But the detectives also found many other items near the jacket, including a wooden pestle, a glove, a cassette of metal music,
what?
and a ceramic skull. They also watched the video itself, and
Did he say a wooden... What did he say?
I don't even know what that
of
was.
metal music and a ceramic location, and
Sorry,
sure
hold on.
enough, the family's story checked out. The jacket was still there. But the detectives also found many other items near the jacket, including a wooden pestle, a glove, a cassette of metal music, and
Must
a
be like
ceramic
a-
skull.
Like a
They
hitting
also
thing?
watched the video itself, and it was unlike anything they had seen before.
I've never run across anything as eerie as this tape. Frightened me, as a matter of fact, I thought about it that night when I went to bed.
Unfortunately, the poor filming conditions and shaky nature of the footage prevented them from extracting any meaningful clues about the location of this fire. Despite a frame-by-frame analysis, investigators were unable to match the tape with any reported fires in the state of California. For all they knew, the fire could have happened anywhere in the US. As for the motive behind this action, the constant talk of hell and evil led the investigators to believe that it had something to do with Satanism. And while this might sound a bit far-fetched
I don't
today,
know.
you have to remember that back in the 1980s, major acts of evil from devil worshippers was a real concern for many people. But without any leads, this was nothing more than a theory. So after
It's kind of true. There's a couple cases around here like that. Like, I told you about like Hitler's tunnel right underneath Green Hills. The cemetery in like my hometown. There's like stories of, I guess, like some girl was like brutally killed, like sacrificed for like a satanic ritual. That was like a theory. Actually, the house across from my parents' house, because me and my friends like to go like urban exploring, like abandoned stuff back then. So when the house was vacant and it was kind of like old and torn down, we went inside the garage and there was like a huge pentagram like painted on the floor and stuff.
But don't people like have that?
Like they kind of just like
They
mess
they
around.
vibe with it or something. Like they like the way it looks or whatever.
True, but I feel like they would like the way it looks, maybe because they're into that stuff. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, that's true what he's saying.
exhausting all other options, investigators decided to enlist the help of the media and featured the story on the popular TV show Unsolved Mysteries
You ever seen
in
any stuff
September
like that?
of 1990. And this worked better than the cops could have ever imagined. Within 2 hours of the episode airing, investigators received over 1,000 calls from viewers with potential leads.
Oh,
Among
wow.
these 1,000 plus callers was a man named Ed Tarantino who got shaken to his core after seeing the found footage on TV, because he lived next to the burning house in Redwood City, California, some 80 miles west to where the tape was originally found. More importantly, the show also led the investigators to the owner of the under construction home that was burning in the video, Bill Otherly, who described the incident as the act of a crazy person.
Oh, so that was
It's
his
my
house.
That's
Oh.
on the videotape.
There you go.
And then you heard the voice of this individual. And you go, this guy ain't playing with a full deck.
This was an extremely expensive loss for Bill. The fire had completely destroyed his
It's
under
kinda a nice way to
construction
put it.
home, costing him $900,000, which is about $2.5 million in today's money. Meanwhile, the Redwood City Fire Department also confirmed the incident. As it turns out, the fire department had captured their own footage of the incident for use in future training, and parts of this fire department footage matched the mysterious tape. Cross-referencing the two videos also revealed that the arsonist was just about 50 feet away from the fireman when he
Oh,
recorded
wow.
his
I
video.
know, I was about to say that. Doesn't that mean he was like right there? That's creepy.
Details make the holiday.
The fire department's trying to put it out. What a laugh.
You would have
Now, all
thought they
that
would have
remained
saw
was to
him
capture the
with the...
culprit. But that
Oh, like
wasn't
there's
easy.
probably a little light.
According to the owner of the fire department reports, the arson attack happened in August of 1988, which
you know
is an
the old
entire year
cameras
before
have,
the
like,
tape was
the
found on the side of the road.
Lights on
The
it.
only lead the investigators had on the suspect was the name he mentioned in the video, Omar.
Forget it, Omar. This is what I've been doing on your week's vacation. I said I'll do it. I said I'll do it.
Maybe he has split personality.
Probably.
It wasn't much, and for a
It
while
almost
it
sounded
seemed
like
like
he's
a dead
doing, like-
end. That is, until the police received a new tip from Doris Lance, another person who saw
he's
the
just
Unsolved
acting.
Mysteries episode on TV. She suspected that the Omar mentioned in the video was referring to a 17-year-old boy who lived in the area. And when the police brought him in for questioning, he cracked almost immediately and told them everything. Omar claimed that he was silently standing off camera when the video was filmed, and that it was his 19-year-old friend who started the fire and recorded the video. The investigators were finally getting close to the perpetrator, but they needed more evidence before making their move, so they started tailing the alleged arsonist, observing him from a distance.
Do you think
However,
do you
he
think
likely
Omar
caught
got in
wind-
trouble? Because technically he's like there,
No, like what's that called?
like guilty by association.
Yeah, or there's something else I didn't say. I don't remember.
Maybe they'll say, but But then again, he did like confess and all that, so maybe that helps.
The police, because soon after the monitoring started, his garage burned to the ground. At that point, the police had no choice but to act. On September 27, 1990, they confronted the 19-year-old directly. And just like Omar, he folded without much of a fight and confessed to everything. One thing I should point out is that the authorities never publicly revealed the identities of the two boys, so I'll call the arsonist John for the sake of convenience.
Are these just random
John's
photos?
home, investigators also found tons of incriminating evidence that linked them to not only the Redwood City fire, but similar arson attacks on 11 other structures and 15 grass fires. This evidence included things like a picture of graffiti on a wall stating, "Please no more houses," and a news clipping pinned to the wall about recent arsons which the two boys likely caused. But that wasn't all. In the burned down garage, they discovered bloodied knives and mutilated animal parts. They also found tapes containing disturbing footage of John dressing up as a satanic vampire and threatening a humanoid sculpture with a knife.
How you doing, Father? I hope you're doing real good.
Oh, it's just dark humor.
But not all the footage was so theatrical.
You know what's crazy about these two? I mean, there's a lot of people that do that type of stuff nowadays for, like, I guess attention or views or rage bait and all that, right? But like, where would this footage go back then? You know, it's literally just for their own like oh, here's our like sick little collection of snuff, or
Yeah.
I guess to get passed around. Or
It's crazy too, because they never would have gotten caught if they didn't lose the VHS, if you think about it. Because back then, you didn't have social media.
Or do you think they were trying to do like some
Like Zodiac type
I know, because
shit?
that was, if this is like 90s, then that was only like what, like 20 years prior. So I mean, yeah, there could be some like what do they call those, like copycat or inspired
One of the most
by.
notable clips showed the two boys goofing around in an open field.
And now, to finish the job.
That field, as it turned out, was being transformed into a housing development. It's likely the boys were furious about the changes and decided to take matters into their own hands by torching under construction homes to stop the developments. This would also explain the eerie graffiti I mentioned earlier. However, since
They took the Goonies motivation a little too far, right? Trying to save the neighborhood, you know. They took it a little too far, you know.
both
But
of them
in
were
that
runners
movie, they were going to tear down all those houses.
I know, to
and-
build like
a
but
golf
you know those
course.
old, those like usually in 80s movies and stuff, that was like a trope where it's like, we gotta save the neighborhood or whatever.
Yeah,
You know?
true.
When they
For
started those
treasure.
fires, they were tried as juveniles despite the severity of their crimes. Omar was sent to juvenile detention, while John was deemed mentally unwell and was admitted to a mental institute. What happened to the two after that, we don't know. I've seen some claims that John was released from the mental institute and died in a car accident in 2017. And while there's no direct evidence to back this claim, I did find a news report of a hit and run in Redwood City from January of 2017. The victim of this incident was 45 years old, which aligns perfectly with the age John would have been in 2017.
Oh,
But
wow.
if this is completely unrelated and John is still alive, I seriously doubt he'd
Also,
reveal
he
himself
never
now
even-
just to satisfy the curiosity of randoms on the internet.
Maybe there wasn't
As for
enough
the tape
evidence or
itself,
what.
it's still unclear how it found its way
They,
on the side
they,
of the
told,
interstate.
they said what happened to him.
One more time? Tell me. Sorry, because Lucky was distracting me.
Omar went to the juvenile detention center.
Oh, that's fucked up. Uh-huh.
And then the other guy, John, the white boy, he went to like a mental institute,
Oh,
a
okay,
mental
okay.
hospital. Because they were like, he's mentally unwell.
True.
Lucky, you got an eye boogie. Let me get it. Wee, Lucky! Come
On
here.
August 23rd, 1987, a pair of backpackers were hiking south of the Junco Lake trailhead in the mountains near the tiny town of Tabernash, Colorado. However, what might have seemed like an ordinary hike quickly turned into an unforgettable experience that would stay with them for the rest of their lives. The
This
two
one with
came
the
across
bear?
the
Oh,
wreckage of a
shit.
crashed plane
Oh,
with
wow.
parts scattered
You know, it's just crazy, especially like some parts around here in LA, like with some history of them, like of like hiking stories, right? Because it's like I do like to go on hikes. I mean, you've been on some hikes with me and like my mom and
What-
stuff.
Yeah,
like-
I'd never go by myself, though.
Well, yeah, that's definitely a fact too, or advice for any of you guys. But it's just crazy how some of these stories just really start out like a normal hike, and they either run into like a predator,
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, like a mountain lion. There's a lot of those stories around here.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that one story with like
The bear?
no, not just the bear, but the who was the serial killer that was in? Remember in like the Hollywood Hills? You heard that story? You never heard that one? It's like a trail in Hollywood or whatever. I'm not sure if it was Ted Bundy, but it was one of those famous guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
He just got done like killing someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was hiding in the bushes because he heard people coming, and he said that because later, you know, when he got caught, he like confessed about the craziest part where he almost got caught, and like the couple that were hiking there stepped on the girl's body, or like whatever gender of the body, I don't know, and then but they didn't look down or anything, they just like ran, and he was just like right there, like he just got done, like, you know, I don't know. It's pretty wild. Pretty wild.
Everywhere. They informed the authorities about the find, prompting a complete search of the area for evidence of what happened to this plane and when. While Dale Wood, a Colorado deputy sheriff, was investigating the area, his attention was drawn to a VHS tape hanging from a tree. Most of the tape's insides had come out and were tangled in the branches, but he recovered everything he could and brought it back for restoration to a somewhat playable condition, and the footage was disturbing to say the least. The VHS contained the last moments of two men who went missing 3 years ago, the 36-year-old James Jeb Cottle and his similarly aged passenger Ronald Hugh Wilmond. On August 10, 1984, the two flew from the Granby Airport with the Jeffco Airport as their destination on a small Cessna L-19E Bird Dog airplane. However, they never arrived at this destination. Multiple search parties were deployed to their
I would never want to
approximate
get on a
route, but none were able to find any
aircraft,
evidence
bro.
of what happened to James and Ronald. What made their disappearance even more mysterious was the fact that the plane had an emergency locator transmitter, a device that would have broadcast its location in the case of a crash. However, the authorities never received the signal from this device, and their case remained cold for almost 3 years. That is until the pair of backpackers found the wreckage, which in turn led to the discovery of the VHS tape. The footage starts off quite normal, with the pilot commenting on things he sees from the cockpit.
Oh, look at that down there, Ronnie, on the left. Nice little lake and a cabin. Those dead trees down there. There are a whole bunch of them back up in here, those beetles.
I'm surprised they're able to recover the...
Very pretty little lake.
However, around 5 minutes into the footage, things start to go wrong as the ground
They
starts coming
recorded?
closer and closer.
Probably just capturing the moment. I mean, like, when it kept recording when they crashed, probably.
Experts analyzed this footage to find out what went wrong, and apparently the pilot failed to account for density altitude before taking off. For those that aren't familiar with aviation lingo, think of density altitude as the thickness of the air. When it's hot, humid, or a higher altitude, the air becomes thinner, making it harder for planes to fly well. Pilots use density altitude to know how their plane will perform, like how much runway they need or how much weight they can carry. On the day of the crash, the density altitude around Tabernash was 13,000 feet. In other words, the air was as thin as it would be at an altitude of 13,000 feet. James failed to account for this massive difference.
Yeah, I don't...
When his plane came across rapidly rising mountains around 10,200 feet above sea level, he wasn't able to lift the plane in time to fly over them safely. The footage showed how he tried to quickly turn back, but stalled the plane's engine in the process, resulting in it turning over and crashing into the trees.
That sucks.
Because the air was too thin?
I guess, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I feel like obviously a smaller plane will have those problems.
The footage also explained why the emergency locator transmitter didn't work. The plane flipped upside down just before the crash, which damaged the transmitter, preventing it from signaling for help. It was an unfortunate incident all around.
But they died
The
from
only
that?
potentially good thing that came
guess
out of
so.
this is that James
Or-
Cottle's family authorized...
Maybe they got super injured, but there's no one around, you know, to like deal with
this
the
found
wounds and
footage to be
stuff.
used in flight instructor training. So maybe somebody's life was spared because they saw this footage and remembered to adjust for density altitude before taking off.
Right.
I'm still confused about that a bit.
Paris and Nicole are reuniting for their next big endeavor.
We decided to turn our famous...
Maybe like the thicker the air is, the more it's like held in place, it's easier to like control. And maybe
So is that the
thin,
same
like,
thing for
loose.
like actual planes that we use for traveling?
Probably, but I feel like those commercial airliners or whatever are more like, they're heavier, so maybe it's easy. That's what I'm saying. Lighter planes are more like, remember that light plane we went on? It like shakes when it's taking off. It's like kind of scary, you know? I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even a really small
On the 31st of May 2013, the loud noise of a tornado siren was echoing through the streets of El Reno, Oklahoma. Meteorologists were predicting a potential multiple vortex tornado that might touch down in the area. And while this was bad news for the residents of El Reno, the rarity of such an event also attracted a...
Dude, it's crazy, right? We just got like a tornado in Santa Cruz. I mean, we're like 6 hours from Santa Cruz, but still, I mean, the fact that tornadoes are coming over here
But it was
now,
like a 10-second tornado. It caused a little damage,
a lot of damage, though.
Yeah, but it wasn't like it wasn't like how they deal with it.
Oh, no, but still.
It was like, I see those when you're driving in the desert, you know, you see a little, like,
well, those
tornado.
are small. It was actually kind of big.
No, I know, but it wasn't, like, huge, like how, like...
No, I know. Those are, like 200 mile an hour winds. I think the one that hit Santa Cruz, like, 90, which is still crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know when it's, like, super windy here? That's only like 20 miles an hour, so I can't imagine like 90.
Tornado is when like two different like directions of air like hits, right? Airway, and then they just keep colliding.
Just like cyclone.
And then it's like the what is it? The electrons, electricity. You know, like it's just like all that. It just keeps going. I don't know.
All that science stuff. I don't know.
Storm chasers from around the United States. This also included a 3-man crew of storm chasing experts, the 55-year-old Tim Samaras, his 24-year-old son Paul Samaras, and their partner 45-year-old Carl Young. The three had extensive experience in safely chasing twisters and gathering valuable data from them. They were also a part of the Discovery Channel's Storm Chasers and were heavily involved in the show from seasons 3 to 5. In May of 2013, the trio had actually arrived in the stormy area many days earlier to thoroughly analyze the storm before giving chase.
Oh, I'd say this is the one. Oh, yeah. This is going to be the storm.
This is how Superman's
gonna do it, I think.
Dad died.
Unfortunately, the May 31st twister wasn't something they could have predicted, even with their vast knowledge and experience.
Is that like canon in all Superman stories? He dies in a tornado storm? Or that was just Man of Steel? You get what I'm saying? Does his dad always die?
No, I think he's always alive.
Okay, maybe just some extra motivation for the character, I guess.
No, and I have to Google it, because if I'm wrong, I'll be... I'm trying to think, all the shows.
Alright, real quick, hold on, guys. Quick intermission.
I think he's always alive.
Does Superman's dad always die? Superman's parents, Jonathan and Martha Kent, have suffered a number of heartbreaking deaths in the various comic book incarnations of Superman. Alright.
Yeah, but I don't think he died.
However, in the 2018 film, Superman Returns? Oh, is that like a animated one? Because I was like 2018.
Probably, yeah, because I'm trying to think of all the movies they have. I think they're all alive.
Oh yeah, heart attack. I guess a lot of heart attacks.
I think it was just Snyder's version of Superman.
Yeah.
Not bad though. Around 6 p.m. when an EF3 tornado touched down in El Reno, marking the beginning of the chase.
Oh, but he didn't want him to save him, huh? Because he didn't want people to know that he could do that. Like, it's kind of like let nature take its course. Wasn't that the whole thing where he's like don't save me or whatever, right?
Yeah, but I feel like all that time he took to just stare at each other and for him to put his hand up, he could at least run off a bit.
But like I said, I don't think I've really seen that. You've seen that one?
The movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's the reason though. He doesn't want him to like show his powers.
But
I mean, was anyone around?
I think they were under the underpass, like on the freeway,
Oh,
because
they could
they
see
were
what's going
driving.
on.
And then I want to say the dad went to the truck again to go get the dog or something. I forget, or save somebody. But then, like, yeah, he wasn't gonna make it, so he took like, he like looks at he looks at oh my god, I'm
Clark?
blanking. Yeah, it's Clark Kent, and he's like he's gonna go, and then he's like, and then the tornado goes, and he just like fades away, and I'm like, anyways, I feel like nobody would have, like, you know how fast Superman's fast enough to.
You can race the Flash, right? Or is
Yeah,
that just
but the
Snyder?
Flash is.
Okay, a gripe though. Why can't you do that? Then what's the point of the Flash if Superman's just as fast? I don't like how OP Superman is.
I know he's even done it where he flies like backwards around Earth and he goes like back in time. But the Flash can tap into the Speed Force, so he could travel through future, past, present, like.
And Superman can't do that. But couldn't he? Because
I don't
he
think
can
he
go
could.
as fast as Barry.
Yeah, but.
Or they never show it in the Snyderverse, at least. Like, they just show them race, but they don't really show like how fast they go.
He could keep up with the Flash, but the Flash I think could run faster because the Flash should go run to the future and to the past. I think Superman can only do like so much in the past. I forget because there is a movie there is a movie. It's either the movie, an old one, or the cartoon. I don't know, where he does go back in time. He flies outside of Earth and then he goes backwards, which to me never made sense. So maybe they kind of took that ability away from him.
Yeah. Fair.
So, and then Superman has a lot of weaknesses though, so.
What is it? It's like kryptonite, obviously. The sun, no? Or that gives him power.
Gives him power, but if he's on a planet with a red sun, that weakens him. It's like the opposite effect,
Okay, so
like kryptonite.
That's two.
And then of course you have Lois Lane.
Okay.
And of course you have his parents. Because that's, yeah. But
I guess
he has
there's
weaknesses. Yeah. A rock is his weakness. Come on now.
But it's not found on Earth.
But still, you just gotta like one in the brain, one in the heart. There you go. He's gone. Dunzo. Everyone has their weakness though.
The tornado started becoming more volatile.
See, the rain is behind us. Oh my God.
No, the bird! Save the bird!
What was supposed to be a category EF3 quickly turned into an EF5, which is the most intense a tornado can get. But even the title of EF5 cannot fully demonstrate the terrifying scale of this particular twister. By the time it stopped growing, the El Reno tornado had a radius of 2.6 miles.
Wait, hold on, sorry.
The largest in...
Were we supposed to pick up your sister?
No, she said never mind earlier.
Oh, you didn't show me that text. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Recorded history. It also had a wind speed of 313 miles per hour or over 500 kilometers per hour. Carl and the Samaras brothers were attempting to ride parallel to the tornado to observe from a safe distance. Unfortunately, the twister made an unexpected turn and started coming towards their car. They tried everything in their power to escape safely, but sadly it was too late. The tornado flung the car into the air, sending it barreling across the El Reno region. After the storm had passed, search parties found their car, which was reduced to 60% of its original size. And while Tim's body was found strapped inside the vehicle, Paul and Carl's bodies were found half a mile east and west of the car.
Damn.
All three had tragically passed away in the incident. After
the
some
storm chasers do like a
also found a camera, which was miraculously still recording.
Memorial episode
and
or something?
after reviewing the footage, it became clear that it had recorded Tim, Paul, and Carl's final moments. Now, as far as I could tell, the raw footage from this camera has not been released to the public, and no one has leaked it anywhere on the internet. But a select few people have seen the footage, including the crew's close friend, Gabe Garfield.
I wouldn't want to
According
watch
to him,
that, so.
he could hear Carl talking about how eerily calm the air around them had become in the moments before their end. To which Tim replied, "Actually, we're in a bad spot," before uttering his final words, "We're going to die." To this day, the story of Tim, Paul, and Carl serves as a stark warning to aspiring storm chasers, highlighting the immense danger of their pursuit. Even a team of industry-leading veterans.
I'm sorry, can I just say something real quick?
Yeah.
They're testing it, right?
What do you mean testing
it? They're not experimenting, obviously, but they're going there to learn more about them, right?
That's what I'm wondering too. I feel like obviously it's a thrill or whatever, like adrenaline junkie, but also like they study them. Maybe
I'd be like, I don't want to study anything of that. Go into a basement, because my thing is like, how are you gonna combat that?
What do you mean?
Like how are you gonna fight that? What do you? That's what I'm saying. Why chase them and to learn more about them? Discover more?
I guess another thing is, I guess it's kind of like, I guess they died doing what they love. Kind of like people who do cave exploring, like spelunking or whatever, and then people who do like free solo like climbing.
In that moment, you're in that thrill of it.
They probably regret it.
In that moment, you're probably thinking,
"Oh fuck."
Yeah, you're like, "Fuck this hobby" or "Fuck this thrill." That's how I would be. Like literally, like not even joking. Like, have you ever had moments? Because somebody at my work goes surfing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I asked this person, have you ever had a day where you were surfing, you ate shit, and you were like, all right, I'm gonna take my board and like leave, and they said yes. So like, have you ever had that moment where you were skateboarding, where you like ate shit, like either not bad, but just enough for you to be like, all right, that's enough for today. Like you're like, I'm gonna go, because like I feel like if I had like, even if they not survived it, but they ended up escaping the tornado and maybe it just like got tossed or whatever, I feel like that'd be like, all right, I'm picking up my shit, like we're never doing this again, like
yeah, there's bad days when I used to skate, like where I'd get hurt and just want to like quit.
But you never had a day where you thought like, maybe I shouldn't do this, or you never got hurt to the point where you're like, nah, like I'll still do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, like when I got a little older, like early 20s, and having a job, and it's like, okay, they can understand like the first time you get hurt, like, oh yeah, he was out skating or whatever, like he got hurt. But I think a few months later, I got hurt again, pretty bad, like rolled my ankle really bad. I showed you that footage, I think. If I remember, I'll play it here. But I rolled it like super bad, and then at that point, like I said, I was like maybe 22 or something. I was like, I'm gonna be losing money. I'm like leaving my coworkers short. Not that I really cared too much at the time, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
still they're gonna be annoyed. Like really, this guy's like just.
Or remember, skating. Like kind of like our supervisor, he would go to like film. Remember? Or then he was like, he skated and he ended up like dislocating his shoulder. Remember that?
Well, I left at that point before I came back. That was in between. I wasn't there during his shoulder.
Oh, you weren't there and he was in a sling?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think that was I feel like that was a moment he was like, yeah, I'm not going to be like trying to do like skateboarding like that, you know?
Yeah, and he didn't even skate like that. He just like filmed, but I think he fell.
I think he was trying to just go back to maybe like just like, I think he was doing like the bowl.
Oh, and he fell?
Yeah, it fell and then landed on his, he was on the shoulder or whatever, but that was his moment where he was like, no, like, I'm done.
I mean, I still love it. I still watch it and I still do it when I can, but not like jumping downstairs anymore and all that. Like,
because you have to admit, I mean, like, I'll go on a board, like, I'll cruise with you and all that, but you have to admit, what stopped me was when I ate shit really bad in Arizona when I, like, felt, because I literally, like,
slammed on
dude, I fucking, that shit hurt, bro, and the foot, like, the bruise I got, the cuts on my leg, my arm was bleeding,
Remind me, I'll put that photo
oh my god, my whole leg was bruised.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then my body hurt, and then what else? Oh, and I felt like I blacked out. I'm not even joking, because, like...
Especially it was hot, too.
No, my shit, like, I remember when I got up, I was like, damn. Like, everything, it was black for, like, a few seconds. That's why I said, like, when you came to me, I was like, am I bleeding anywhere? And I felt like my leg broke. I was like, am I good? Like, am I okay? Like, am I bleeding? Because I hit my head pretty hard.
You hit your head?
Yeah, I hit my head because I blacked out for a bit.
Oh wow.
So I thought maybe like I thought maybe like I was gonna get up and there'd be blood. I'm gonna be like, damn, I don't know where to go out here. The hospital's probably far. But this, like, I just too much.
Yeah.
Anyways, I would have stopped.
I know. Moral of the story.
I guess want to see their footage.
1st of June 2024, a YouTube channel by the name of Found Memories uploaded a video titled Tape 92, Found Footage, Jason Sleeping. The video is timestamped for 9:27 p.m. on April 22nd, 2007, and opens with the cameraman placing the camera in a way that faces a sleeping child.
Creepy.
Aside from the sleeping child turning a few times, nothing happens for the rest of this nearly 30-minute video. There's not even any unusual sound in the background or anything. Now, despite the footage being completely uneventful, something about this whole thing is inherently unsettling.
Okay, pause real quick.
The lack of context and the
Okay. I would say this one's not as eerie. Because what if... Because, you know, he's saying there's no context, right?
Yeah.
So... I'm mentally filling in. I'm personally filling in the blank. What if it was more like if your child like sleepwalks, if he has night terrors, if there's like issue, like you get me. So it's kind of like monitoring him so that like they could bring it to somebody who, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they could like analyze it.
Or what if he's in a room where? Because don't they have that where they like take people and like they'll monitor you sleep? I think they done that in like Nightmare on Elm Street, where they have the girl sleeping and they have the window there so they could watch them, but they're recording.
Like a one-sided.
Yeah, but they're recording her too. Yeah, but they're recording her. But I think it's like designed like a real room. You get me? Yeah, it could be one of those too.
True, but I guess we'll see because this is the last story, I'm guessing, or one of them. So I feel like
comfortable silence can easily turn this into nightmare fuel if you have an active enough imagination.
We'll see.
According to the description of the video, the original tape was simply labeled as Jason Sleeping. The uploader also gave an explanation for where they found the footage, stating, found in a box full of abandoned camcorder videos, uploading to archive the footage. Perhaps one day someone connected to the video will see it and appreciate it. And while this provides some much needed context, it still leaves the biggest question unanswered. Why would anyone record 30 minutes of a child sleeping? So I decided to dig a bit further. The first thing that came to mind is that this is just another one of those staged, artsy, analog horror type videos. However, after going through the channel that posted this video, I don't think that's the case. The channel, Found Memories, was created fairly recently in April of 2024. Oh, wow. The About section of the channel reads, uploading media I've found to archive, and maybe one day the original owners will find it and appreciate it. I've acquired thousands of videotapes and media over the years from various places, pawn shops, private sellers, auctions, and thrift stores to name a few. I recently had the idea to start this channel as a way to start archiving them and actually do something with them. Maybe one day someone connected to them will find them. And this seems to be the truth. At the time of writing, this channel has uploaded over 180 different videos. And almost all of them are extremely unique in some way. From children opening their Christmas presents in 1991 to a whole wedding. However, almost none of these random videos are creepy or scary, with the sole exception of Jason sleeping. I highly doubt the owner of this channel filmed or acquired hundreds of random tapes just to sneak in one obscure horror video. So, they're likely telling the truth about finding the tape. But if it's not an artsy horror flick, what is it? Now, while it might be easy to drum up some creepy stalker story, the real explanation might be a lot simpler. More specifically, this was likely recorded by a parent who wanted to observe the sleeping patterns of their child. Maybe to see if they sleepwalk or talk during their sleep. Many comments under the video also agree with this explanation, with one commenter even providing a personal anecdote to validate this theory, stating, I'm sure they recorded to catch him sleepwalking or talking. When I was 9, I woke up in my mom's closet. My mom about had a heart attack when she opened the door and asked me why I was there. I said, I don't know. She thought I was lying, so one night she videotaped me. But I didn't do it. It was a one-time thing for me. Also could be paranormal reasons. Kid been waking up with scratches, bites,
that's what I was
could be
too.
anything. 9 times out of 10, there's really no creepy reason parents record kids. Not saying it doesn't happen now, but just way less likely. But at the end of the day, we really don't know and can't know the motives of this unnerving found footage. Maybe the channel owner's wish will come true one day and Jason, or the person who recorded this footage, will find this video and reveal the truth in the comments.
Yeah, it's most likely that
In
stuff.
August of 2021, YouTuber Rich Aloha was filming one of his signature diving videos in a pool under a waterfall in Foster Falls State Park, Tennessee. He was excited to jump in the water in hopes of finding some treasure like a drone or an iPhone.
Oh, he better find
what
a
he
body,
uncovered
bro.
instead was a lot more disturbing. After looking around on the lake floor for some time, he saw something unusual sticking out of the ground, which turned out to be a GoPro camera. The GoPro had clearly been in there for a while, plus the outer shell had massive cracks, which allowed water to get in and fry every electronic component. But before Rich threw the broken
Memory
GoPro
card?
away, he decided to remove its SD card and plug it in, just in case it somehow survived the months underwater. And to his surprise, it was actually fully functional and had the footage of the adventures of a young man. This turned out to be 22-year-old Richard Ragland, who tragically lost his life 2 years earlier, drowning while swimming beneath that very waterfall. In fact, the footage Rich uncovered had Richard's final moments in water. We can actually see him getting visibly exhausted and struggling to stay afloat near the end. The camera likely recorded his final breaths as well. However, from my research, the complete footage isn't available anywhere online, and even if it was, it wouldn't be something I could show here on YouTube. Rich likely never released the complete recording out of respect for Richard and his family, which
I wouldn't be able
fully
to watch
understand.
it.
And while
I
the
wouldn't
death of
either.
such an upbeat young man is sad, at least his family got to see his last happy moments on this planet thanks to Rich finding the footage.
True. Hopefully they didn't see the last part.
See, okay.
On the 30th of September...
Sorry, real quick. If that was me, like, you do get, like, exhausted, right? Because, like, when we go, like, Havasu, you had to be... I forget, wait, how old? Is it 16 or 18? To where you don't need to wear a life jacket on the boat, right? And, like, all the adults, I remember, would never wear a life jacket. I'm like, oh, I want to not wear a life jacket. And then when we would jump off the boat into the lake, they would just have, like, these, like, orange, like, life vest type of thing they just, like, would, like, lay on. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be grown up and do all that. Hell no, that shit was tiring, though. Like,
I bet.
with, like, no life jacket or anything, like... Because you're using, you know, because swimming, I think, is like, because you're going against, like, water, so you're working out, like, everything in your body, and even just kicking your feet just to stay afloat is tiring. For me, personally, if I was tired, which I have been, like, swimming and all that, right? Because I've almost drowned in that lake a couple of times, not gonna lie.
Hey,
like,
you're
swimming,
having fun, though, right?
like, swimming to the buoys, like, we'd swim all the way out there and chill on the little chain on it. But what's it called? We would, if I was about to, like, if I was drowning, I would turn around and I would float on my back.
Oh, just so you can relax your
Yeah, because I'd be like,
stuff?
I would be, because then you freak out. Then you're using more energy and you're starting to hyperventilate. You're starting to breathe hard. Like, you know what I mean? So
Start
it's like.
swallowing water.
Yeah,
and
so
stuff.
it's like, calm down. Okay. You're fine. Just chill. You know, it's not like a beach where the waves are coming. That's
I know,
a
I was going
different
to say,
story.
yeah, you can't
But
do that there.
even with the waves, I go with the current. I don't go against it.
Oh,
You
yeah,
can't,
yeah.
you know what I
It'll
mean?
bring you to shore.
Yeah, so if the water starts to get, like, really bad, or because I have nightmares like that, like at the beach, and, like, the waves are, like, super big, and, like, I'm trying to back up, and it's just, like, getting closer and more.
Ooh.
So, like, at the beach, when they start getting really big, I'm like, yeah, I'm done for the day. Or, like, if I get slammed pretty hard by a wave, like that one time when we went to the beach and I was drowning. I literally was drowning. Like, because I like to go far at the beach, and I like to, like, body surf back, you know? And my ass got, like, tossed by a wave. Like, it was, like, 2 in 1. So I got down. My ass, bro, the waves kept hitting because I was trying to get up off the ground.
Oh, and you kept
they
getting
kept
knocked down?
smacking me, and I'm, like, fucking drowning. And then your ass wasn't even, like, paying attention. I was, like, and I got up, and I'm, like... I think I was done at that point, but I was just like, y'all didn't see me? Like, I'm drowning over here. Like, damn. And you were like, I didn't know. And I'm like, yeah, I was underwater. I'm not there to, like...
Well, you were pretty close to shore, right?
Yeah, but, babe, it's enough to where I couldn't fucking breathe. I was swallowing the sand.
This is before we were together. We were with,
so my life didn't matter
No, I'm saying... No, of course it did. Of course it did. I'm saying we were with other friends, though, so yeah.
Okay, but...
No, I'm saying, like, I didn't realize. We thought, like, oh, okay, she just got knocked down by the wave, like...
Yeah, no, I was trying to see if I could breathe underwater. I was dying there, bro.
That would have been unfortunate.
Mm.
We wouldn't be here today.
Mm.
Well, maybe me, but...
Now my ass would have haunted you, and whoever else was there, I would have been like, drive.
For 2019, at 4:06 p.m., the police in Anchorage, Alaska received a call from a woman claiming to have found evidence of a horrific crime. The woman who called the police was 47-year-old Valerie Kessler. She claimed that she was walking around Fairbanks Street when she found an SD card lying on the ground. She picked it up and saw the words "Homicide at Midtown Marriott" written on it and thought that it might be the title of some obscure horror movie. However, nothing could have prepared her for the horrifying content that came up when she plugged in the card to view its contents. According to the reports, the card had 39 images and 12 videos, all from the same crime scene of horrible things being done to a woman in a hotel room. The person behind the gruesome footage stayed off camera, but his unmistakable voice and distinct accent were clear in the videos.
That's crazy.
And while these videos were never released to the public, the person recording them would have sounded something like this.
There through those trees, you'll see the doctor's house. He's like a heart surgeon or a brain surgeon or something. There's the other neighbors.
That's gonna be you when you go live. Like, this is where we live.
Stop.
And there's the other neighbors.
This is the voice of Brian Stephen Smith, who quickly became the #1 suspect in the case. Apparently, he had called the Anchorage Police Department a few days before the SD card was found and complained about someone stealing his stuff. So when the cops were reviewing the footage...
Isn't there like some crazy statistic about like Alaska? Or am I tripping? I don't know.
What?
I don't want to make any assumptions. Let me just look it up real quick. Like the crime rate, like in Alaska.
Is it...
Or like the murder rate in Alaska. What do you think? That just not the murder rate in Alaska was 6 out of 100k people in 2020, making the okay. I mean, yeah, okay, never mind. Because I mean, maybe because there's not a lot of people there.
Look up California murder rate.
Well, duh. I mean,
just look it up. I'm curious. Then we could see, you know.
6.7. Oh wow, it's lower. What do you think is
do highest murder rate? Wait, let me guess. Florida.
Oh yeah, huh?
In the U.S.
Florida, and then I'll say, I heard Maine is pretty crazy too, but we'll see.
Whoa.
Oh wow. 23 homicides per 100k people. Whatever. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Boys. The person who found
the SD
Alaska card also recognized the carpet pattern of the hotel in the pictures. It was the Town Place Suites by Marriott, which was located just a 5-minute walk from where the card was found. Cops went to this hotel, and sure enough, Brian was checked into the hotel on the day the horrific pictures and videos were taken. Further investigation into Brian revealed that he was an immigrant from South Africa and had received U.S. citizenship less than a year earlier. He was also working as the manager of a different Marriott hotel in Anchorage. The police also found the discarded remains of his victim during this time. Unfortunately, he had gone on vacation with his wife the day the SD card was found. However, he was arrested seconds after landing at the airport in Alaska and charged with over 13 felonies for his unspeakable crimes. Police also revealed the identity of his victim, the 30-year-old Alaskan native named Kathleen Jo Henry. Brian pled not guilty, but the evidence against him was too substantial for him to walk free. However, just as he was about to face justice, Valerie Kessler gave a testimony that could have complicated this case even further. If you remember, she originally claimed to have found the SD card lying on the road. In reality, she was hired by Brian as an escort. On her way out, she stole his phone. When she went through his phone, likely to clear it, she came across evidence of his monstrous deeds. But she did not want to get involved in such a massive case, so she copied the files to an SD card and came up with the entire found footage storyline. Fortunately, the case against Brian was already strong enough to withstand this revelation, and he was finally sentenced to 226 years in prison in July of this year. And while this would not undo the pain and suffering Kathleen went through, at least now her family can rest easy knowing that the monster who did this to her is rotting in prison.
Wow, that was crazy.
Oh, that looks like you. Look at the baby.
Boy.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to watch that one.
Ooh. That was pretty good though, no? At least the last story was pretty crazy.
Hurry!
Alright, before we go, hope you guys had a good Christmas. Ours was chill, right? Or you worked, huh?
Yes.
But you ate good food later that night. Got
sure did.
Got some good presents.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we did.
Recently, we did get monetized, so thank you guys for supporting. We're almost at the level where we can have like ads on our videos, but we do have like memberships available. If you guys want to support, you can. The cheapest one is like $2.99, and eventually we're going to be doing like member live streams and stuff. So for now, if you just want to support, you can. But we'll be adding incentives to like I said, member live streams, like where we play games or just watch some horror videos together or something. So I don't know, we got a lot of stuff planned though.
Yeah.
And I'll link below too. We started like a little podcast radio show, Miracle FM. So I'm just gonna plug that. You know, we're still gonna be doing reactions, but that's just like a passion project we're working on. So we'll be uploading those like every now and then, at least maybe once a week. But there you go. It's 9 o'clock. We're gonna watch Nosferatu tonight, so we gotta go make it there.
Oh yeah, huh? It's not even by us. We have to drive.
It's only like 15 minutes, but yeah. And we'll probably review it on our new podcast, so look out for that. All right, peace, y'all. See ya.